we say, what's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media, doing what I love to do, talking some sports with all of you guys and girls out there, whoever's watching. I don't know who you are, but I appreciate you. Hey, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Really would appreciate it if you do that. It helps the channel out a lot. Yes, that's an Auburn background, and we're talking up the Iron Bowl of men's basketball with it honestly just me, but I would love some feedback in the comments section. I figured, as we get closer to March Madness and we see teams start winning big time basketball games in men's and women's. I mean, I have no bias on here. If you want to talk women's basketball, you can, but I know that a lot of the good action happens in men's basketball. And again, I say that with all due respect to women's college basketball. Of course, there's been a lot going on over there. They got great power rankings and, Caitlin Clark and everything going on with Iowa. So big things happening. You got big teams like South Carolina and LSU, and the women's doing really, really good in the SEC. You look at the men's, though, we got to talk about the Iron Bowl. We got some games on tonight as I record this on Tuesday, February 6th. I almost said January, but we're out of that month, thankfully. A lot of people were making jokes on social media about how long of a month it was. And yeah, it was pretty long. I would fully agree there. But you look at some games in the SEC and just all over in men's basketball this week. You got some games on the 6th of February tonight with Clemson, UNC, and other games such as South Carolina and Mississippi. Of course, the Gamecocks are ranked 15. The Tar Heels of North Carolina are ranked number 3. You got 5th-ranked Houston taking on Oklahoma State. 14th, Iowa State playing Texas. That's pretty good. But what about the in-state teams? Remember, I live in the state of Alabama, the great state of Alabama. And I want to look at what could take place tomorrow night at Neville Arena, Auburn Arena, for the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Auburn Tigers. When you look at this matchup, by the way, you look at these teams going into this game, Alabama and Auburn both ranked in the top 20. Auburn is 12, Alabama is 16. Alabama is 16-6, 8-1 in SEC play. That's a pretty good record to have. Auburn, better overall record at 18-4. Ranked number 12 in the country. They're 7-2 in conference play. And, man, when you talk about playmakers that they have, you have Trey Donaldson, and then you have Johnny Broome, who they've talked a lot about this year for Auburn. Andy Burcham and company doing a great job calling games on the Auburn radio network. Mark Sears, Grant Nelson, Aaron Estrada, to mention some of the team leaders for the Alabama Crimson Tide. They've done a good job with Roger Hoover, Chris Stewart, doing basketball games this year, have just done a fantastic job calling those games. And, when you look at this game too, Auburn has a 60% chance to win, leaving Alabama with a 40% chance. I think that's kind of one of those home court advantage type of deals. Alabama on the road in the SEC can have some success, but they also struggle at times. And, they've really only had a couple, I think 2 or 3 SEC road games this year. They lost at Tennessee. They were able to pick up a good win over Georgia on the road. Now they play Auburn, who not even a month ago, I mean, we're talking 2 weeks, they won 79-75 over the Auburn Tigers at Coleman Coliseum. Auburn is coming off a 91-77 victory over Ole Miss from the other night on Saturday, and Alabama beating Mississippi State 99-67. That's pretty good. Alabama's on a 4-game win streak. I mentioned Auburn's back 2 games, so that's really, really good there. When you look at Auburn, before we get to Alabama's stat leaders and everything, Johnny Broome leads the team for Auburn in points at 15.7. and he leads in rebounds at 8.8. That's pretty impressive. Trey Donaldson leads in assists at 3.5. KD Johnson leads in steals at 1.3. And Johnny Broome, again, this guy has just come out of nowhere this year, Really, really good. He's got 2.3, count it, 2 blocks on average, a 56 field goal percentage, 62 on his free throws, 3-point shots. He's about 34%. You want to look at the guy that leads in 3-point percentage, though. I would look at, they're actually tied. Jalen Williams, the forward, and then looking at KD Johnson. I'm sorry, Trey Donaldson. My apologies, the guard. Was looking at the wrong name there for Auburn. So they got some playmakers that can run up and down the court with Alabama and give them a run for their money. Then you look at Alabama with Mark Sears on steals and blocks with Grant Nelson, just this really tall, grad transfer coming in, JUCO transfer. Uh, Grant Nelson is just taking the field by storm, taking the court by storm, I should say, in terms of talking basketball. He's got 12 points on the year, averaging. He's got 1.5 blocks. He's He's got a 26 3-point percentage. He's really good on his free throws at about 88%. So that's really what he does is he can hit the free throws. He's not really that go-to guy if you need a game-winning shot, but he can get the rebound for you. He can play tall and defensively, run up and down the court with you. That's what Grant Nelson does best, and I think that's going to be a key factor in this game. I did not come on here to give a score prediction, but I did want to just talk about the game a little bit. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe. Really would appreciate it. We'll keep talking about it a little bit here. Again, Auburn has a 60% chance to win at Neville Arena. Don't blame them for that. Auburn has a better record. They're ranked higher. They're better in conference play. Well, actually, based on record, I think Alabama is better because of the 8-1 conference record. Auburn at 7-2 is pretty good, though. I just think Alabama has struggled in some of those games, whereas Auburn blew out Vanderbilt and shut down Ole Miss in that second half. And just, I think Auburn, outside of record compared to Alabama, I really think Auburn is a better basketball program. I think they're a better basketball team right now. And I really believe that how do I want to put this? Don't let the conference records fool you. Really don't let that happen. I mean, the SEC in basketball is going to lose games, win games, have overtime. They're going to have chaos, but you look at this game and you really take it to know that both of these teams can be very competitive. I am going to not necessarily give a score prediction, but I would predict that Auburn gets a victory here. I really think they got some momentum going into this game. I think Alabama has momentum as well with a 4-game win streak, but Auburn bouncing back after 2 straight losses. I think they're still thinking a little bit about what happened in Tuscaloosa a few weeks ago when they lost the game by 4 to Alabama. Then they had to lose to Mississippi State. It's just been a tough road for Auburn. And honestly, you just give it the benefit of the doubt. I mean, as much of a good coach Nate Oates is for Alabama, and he's really, really good, and he's done a lot for the university. I think the experience and the been there, done that type of thing with Bruce Pearl has really come around this year. I think at times they've been a little bit of an underdog and they have had to fight their way through some games and some challenges. So I want to see Alabama win as a fan. Yes, absolutely. But I'll put it to you this way: it wouldn't surprise me if Auburn got the victory in this game, nor should it surprise you. They're favored. They, have a better record. They're ranked higher. They're at home. Don't let it be a surprise either if Alabama finds a way to win on the road here. And so, it shouldn't come as a surprise. I mean, I think both teams are evenly matched. I think they have the point guards. They got, the factors that you need to win a basketball game. Like you drive in the lane fast, you're making the shots, you're blocking, you're playing with teamwork, togetherness, effort, mental toughness. Both teams have all of that. So I think that's going to play a big factor in this game on Wednesday night. And hope for a good game. I will not be live for it. I will work and then I will be at church. So, but I'll keep an eye on it and see how it all works out. You can catch the game on ESPN2 tomorrow night on February 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central Time. 6 p.m. local tip off in case you guys want to get last minute tickets to Neville Arena for the Auburn Tigers and the Alabama Crimson Tide and men's basketball. Thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. God bless. Jesus loves you. Keep your head up. All that good stuff I always say. And we'll see you next time. And you know who I'm pulling for. Roll Tide. Let's go beat Auburn and see how it all works out. But may the better team win. I love y'all. Peace.